Boker Tov, good morning. We continue to focus this morning on Shema, and I'd like to reflect this morning on the question of what it means to love God, to love God's creation. The line after Shema Yisrael begins, V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, or as we usually chanted, V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, you shall love Adonai, your God. This passage raises so many questions. First of all, the word V'ahavta, you shall love. It's a kind of command form, as we translate it, you shall love. But what does it mean? I mean, there are so many different kinds of love. We don't love a parent the same way we love a partner, the way we love a child, the way we love a friend. So in which of these ways, if any or all, are we supposed to love the Holy One? It's worth noting that the passage in the whole paragraph is addressed to the first person. You don't get in English when the Hebrew you is you singular, you the individual, and when the Hebrew or when the you is you the people, y'all, as they would say in the South. But in the Hebrew it's always clear. You singular and you plural are different conjugations. And this entire paragraph is addressed first person to the individual, second person, I guess that would be. The you here is not the entire Jewish community as a corporate body. It's addressed to each and every individual within that community in the singular. So perhaps this tells us that loving God is not the same for one person as another. Perhaps each member of the community has to love God in her or his individual way. Each has their own gifts to bring, their own kind of love to offer. But this begs another question. V'ahavta, you shall love. Is it really possible to command love? I think most of us think of love as a feeling or as an emotional state. But how can you command a feeling or emotional state? Can one summon a feeling or an emotional state on demand, even if God is the one who is doing the asking? It doesn't seem easily done or likely. So most of our commentators wrestling with the meaning of this suggest that to love God means to act lovingly. To act lovingly to God and to God's creatures. And they say that we can do this, we can act in a loving manner, even when we're not, at least at the start, feeling the emotion inwardly. The hope and the intention, and this is the modus operandi, the guiding principle of much of Jewish life in mitzvot. The hope and intention is that the feeling will follow the action, that we can fake it till we make it, as it were, that by acting lovingly, we can foster a spirit of love within ourselves. But one thing is clear throughout all of this and in each of these interpretations, which is that the claim to love God while acting cruelly, while failing to act lovingly to God's creation, is a malicious and repugnant claim. It's a lie. There are so many who claim to love God, but how many of them actually live out that love in their personal interactions with others? We're all guilty of failures here. I'm not pointing fingers at others. We all do it. We claim to love God when we chant this prayer. And yet we sometimes treat God's creatures and God's creation shabbily. So let's reflect for a moment this morning. How can I live a life that embodies the love of the divine through abundant acts of loving kindness toward the creation of the divine, toward our fellow human beings, and toward all of the natural world, toward the earth that God created? How can we translate our love into action? Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. So we will conclude this morning, as we have, with the counting of the Omer. Today we focus on Yesod Shabi Yesod, on bonding within bonding. Rabbi Simon Jacobson. Examine the bonding aspect of your bonding, the form it takes and its level of expression. Every person needs and every person has the capacity to bond in some way with other people, with significant undertakings and with meaningful experiences. So to cultivate your capacity to bond, even when you have reason to distrust, you have to remember that you have a divine soul that is nurturing and loving, and to recognize the voice within, which will help you experience the same in other people. And you can slowly drop your defenses and risk being vulnerable when you recognize someone or something you can truly trust. For bonding to be possible, it must include actualizing the bond in constructive and loving deeds. And bonding breeds bonding. When you bond in one area of your life, it helps you to bond in another. When you bond with one person, it helps you to bond with others. I will hope to see many of you Friday evening for our Kabbalat Shabbat. We'll be celebrating together with Chavurah B'Yachad in Salt Lake City, sharing music and words. So hope to see you then and for tomorrow morning's meditation. Have a good day. Boker Tov.